Hey guys, Nick here again. Hope everyone's hanging in there during quarantine. Hopefully this shit ends soon and we can get back to normal life. But until then, since we're all stuck inside, I wanted to make another video today talking about some more speculation I have about Halloween Kills. We're into May now, so if my math is correct, we are just a little over 5 months away from the movie, assuming everything gets back on track, which is another video altogether. But let's say it does. We're a little over 5 months into the movie, or into getting the movie. Sorry. Today, what I want to discuss or speculate basically is the 10 characters I am most excited to see in Halloween Kills. Now, this doesn't mean the 10 most important. It doesn't mean the 10 best. It's just my list from 10 all the way to 1 on who I am most excited to see in this movie. Before I get into that, I just wanted to thank everyone. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty sweet. So I just want to thank everyone for subscribing and watching. I'm planning on starting to do some weekly live streams on probably either Wednesday or Thursday nights. I made a poll so you guys can vote if you're interested. But yeah, so those live streams would just kind of consist of me discussing not only Halloween Kills, which I know we'd get into a lot, but horror movies in general. We could sit here and do some live chats, answer questions, different questions you guys might have on anything. You guys can pick the topics. So I just think that would be pretty fun. And if we pick a consistent day throughout the week, that way you guys would know to tune in. So yeah, let me know what you think of that idea, and let's get into the list. So, coming in at number 10. The number 10 or the 10th most exciting character, I guess I would say. 10th character I'm most excited to see, more accurately, would be Julian. So Julian, if you remember, is the little kid that, I can't remember her name, but Allison's friend was babysitting. He is number 10 on my list. I don't have a problem with this actor. I do have a problem with the character because of the comedy, and I know a lot of people have said this too, but the comedy was just way too much. Specifically, when Michael popped out of the closet, Julian starts running down the stairs. He goes, "Oh shit," or something like that. That's just not fucking realistic for a child. Some masked murderer stabbing your babysitter and you're making a quip. Stupid. But the reason he is at number 10 for me is I am holding out hope that this movie could go balls to the wall and have Michael kill this kid. Like I said, nothing against the actor, but that would show us, holy shit, Michael means business. So that's why he's at number 10. Just a small smidgen of hope that we might see a child die in this movie, which would be pretty badass. So he's at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is a girl that I made a previous video about, and that's Karen Strode. Karen's not very likable, or she wasn't in 2018, but she did have a redeeming moment at the end, the gotcha moment, where she clipped Michael the shoulder. I think someone told me from the last video, someone corrected me and said it was the shoulder. I believe that's what they said. But anyway, so she's at number 9 because I'm thinking she is going to die. It'd probably be a very emotional death, because if they do kill her, they will work on kind of continuing the redemption of her character from being so unlikable at the beginning of Halloween 2018. So she's at number 9 for me. Now, I need a drink of water before number 8. Because, break out the pitchforks, number 8 is Laurie Strode. Yes, she is not number 1, 2, or 3. She is number 8. But hear me out on this. The reason she's at number 8 is because we've seen her before in Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween 2018. We've seen this story before, and that doesn't even include the other incarnation of her character in the Rob Zombie movies. But we've seen this dance before, Michael versus Laurie. At this point, and I love Laurie Strode, I love Jamie Lee Curtis, but at this point, it's played out to me. I don't care. For me, if they were getting rid of the brother-sister story angle, why even have Laurie Strode in it to begin with? If you're just going to have Michael versus Laurie again, then just make them fucking siblings again. It just doesn't make any sense to me. That being said, it is cool because she's going back from what we've seen to Haddonfield Memorial. I do love Jamie Lee Curtis. I do love Laurie Strode. So there is some excitement to see that. It's just the other characters ahead of her I'm a little more excited to see. So brings me to number 7, and that is going to be Lonnie Lamb. So there's 2 reasons Lonnie is at number 7 on my list. There's 2 reasons he's on this list. Number 1, the flashback scene. It's going to be cool to see that, assuming they get it right. So I'm excited to see that. And number 2, I've said this before, but Lonnie's going to fucking die. I would bet any amount of money I have that they kill him off, because he was kind of, the bully kid in the first one. He raised Cameron, who was kind of a shitbag boyfriend to Allison. So something tells me he's not going to be very likable. They may, talk to him and then, have the flashback, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, we sympathize with this character, but then they're gonna kill him off. It's just basic storytelling 101. They may throw a curveball. Maybe he'll survive till Halloween ends. Who knows? But I'd bet my bottom dollar that he is killed, and it'll be a brutal, cool death. So that's why he's on the list. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Allison Strode. So she is not a legendary character, like some of the other characters that are going to be on this list from, the OG in 1978. But she's kind of, transitioning to be the new Laurie. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with her character, because she didn't have too much to do last movie. She was at the dance. She had a broken relationship with her mother, with her grandmother, but she was curious about her. They kind of then shared a bond, but she found, or Michael and her met up, and they had the awesome theme music that they cut off too soon. The shit, is it Stalks Allison or Hunts Allison? I think it's Hunts Allison. But anyway, she did not have as much to do as maybe she should have. Because it was kind of Laurie's story. But I think, especially maybe in the second movie, in Halloween Ends, second of the upcoming movies, I should say, but I think they're really going to, have her character develop. So I'm excited to see where they take her character. So that's why she's at number 6 for me. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Lindsay Wallace. It's pretty cool that they have the original actress coming back to play her. Which, whatever you think about her and the Real Housewives of, I think it's Beverly Hills or whatever, correct me if I'm wrong, chat room. But whatever you think about that actress, it's cool that they have the original character coming back. And I really am curious to see what they do to develop her character. And what I mean by that is, we know before she encountered Michael that she was already into horror movies. Remember, she was watching The Thing from Another World. I think it was something else too that she was watching. So she was into horror movies as a little kid, and then she has this horrific experience happen to her. So maybe, something crazy happens with her psyche. It'll be interesting to see. I hope they don't have her and Tommy married. I don't think they'll do that. But anyway, I'll be very curious to see what they do with her character. So that's why she's at number 5 for me. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Sheriff Lee Brackett. The reason Brackett is so high, and I've touched on this before as well too. I've touched on a lot of this shit before, but I just kind of wanted to make a list and succinctly rank all this. But anyway, so the reason Brackett is so high is he lost Annie 40 years earlier. So it'll be cool to see how that affected him, whether he visited Michael. And hopefully him and Laurie get some kind of conversation, and maybe he goes out in a blaze of glory, like I've speculated before, sacrificing himself, or getting the upper hand on Michael. Maybe that'll happen. So it'll just be cool to see what they do with him, and it'll be cool to see his confrontation with Michael to maybe avenge Annie's death after all these years. So he is at number 4. All right, top 3. Number 3 is going to be Nurse Marion Chambers. So I made a previous video where I think she is the most important returning character out of everyone returning from the OG. But she falls at number 3 for me in excitement. The reason she is at number 3, and I think she's so important, is just because she can fill in some of the backstory with Loomis, assuming that she was still Michael's nurse, or Loomis's nurse, however you want to put it, assuming that there was some relationship there after Michael was captured in 1978. So I'm really curious to see some of the exposition that she can have with this. So basically, I'm excited she could kind of be like our bridge to Loomis, and that excites me because Dr. Loomis, like most of you, I just think Dr. Loomis is the greatest character in this series, and it hasn't been the same since Donald Pleasant's passing in 1995. So I'm very excited to get some semblance of what she can say about that. So, top two left. Number 2 is going to be the Shape himself, Michael Myers. I am very excited to see Michael wreak havoc and be pissed off and start killing motherfuckers all over the town on Halloween night. We've obviously seen that before. We've had how many goddamn movies about this. But this movie's titled Halloween Kills. It's the second act of technically a 3-act play, at least for these new sequels. Michael has been trapped in a basement by Laurie, got his fingers blown the fuck off. He is going to be pissed off, and the title, like I said, is Halloween Kills, so there's going to be a lot of mayhem in this. I'm excited to see what they do with Michael. Also, the flashback, it'll be exciting to see him run into Lonnie Lamb. I just hope they don't show the police catch him and apprehend him. I do not want to see that at all. We saw that in Halloween 5, him sitting in a jail cell. Please, God, don't show that. But everything else, I'm excited to see. Which brings us to my number one character I'm most excited for. Keep having trouble with that. And that is going to be, if you've done the math, I'm sure you can guess, Tommy Doyle. And the reason it is Tommy is, he was kind of our bridge to seeing the boogeyman in 1978. He saw him across the street in a shot that is probably my favorite shot in cinema, when Deborah Hill playing Michael Myers. Yes, if you didn't know that, when Michael's standing across the street and Tommy sees him out the window, that's actually Deborah Hill playing the Shape there. But anyway, so Tommy sees him standing there, his whole, Laurie, what's the boogeyman? That whole arc and everything there, Tommy is the one that kind of started that. So it's going to be fascinating to see Tommy come face to face with Michael after all these years. And Anthony Michael Hall, although I would have personally chosen a no-name to play Tommy because I think it might be a little distracting. I think Anthony, if you are going to choose someone, I think Anthony Michael Hall was a good choice. I can buy him being Tommy grown up. And yeah, I'm just very excited to see what Tommy's up to these days. There's endless possibilities they can do with that. And I'm excited to see him confront Michael after 40 years. Maybe he's been scared for 40 years. Who knows? So it just, that whole possibility there, it just excites me. Very excited. If you can't tell. But yeah, so let me know who you're most excited to see. Thanks.